I was one of the first person involved with the project from a historian point of view in 2002. It's 2007 now. And I said at the time, if there's any remains of enslaved Africans, there should be a memorial of some sort, a rendering, a recording, not particularly a huge memorial, but something. By that time, Lawler had more or less published an article in the Pennsylvania Magazine stating about the President House. And when there weren't any response from the public in general and other people, they started to mention the enslaved Africans, those 8 so-called enslaved Africans. I said, no, there's more than 8. Where the Park Service, in the beginning, they were against this. The only thing they saved, the only situation that saved this whole project is the African American community. Here's an opportunity for the first time, being that Philadelphia is such a historical city, let's commemorate all of enslaved people. Philadelphia, there's other places, as I said before, commemorate Penn's Landing. What happened to Penn's Landing? That's where they brought us in as enslaved people, to Willing's Alley. The firm of Mars, Robert Mars, and the Willings, George and Thomas Willing, were the largest slaveholders in Pennsylvania. The man who owned the so-called President House was Robert who? Mars. And I said, the key person in this whole thing is a black man that they refuse to acknowledge. How can you write the story of this house without Samuel Francis? Although he was fair-skinned, he owned Francis Tavern in New York. George Washington asked Samuel Francis to become his steward at the first house, the President House, at 3 Cherry Street, New York, before he came in 1791 to Philadelphia. How can you talk about only judge or owner judge, her first name, this young African-American girl who ran away, and not talk about Samuel Francis, who was in charge of the so-called kitchen, the house, and everything? There should be some commemoration, as I said. Particularly in the city of Philadelphia, so rich with history. And we came here, our people, 1639, with the Dutch and Swedes and so forth. I would like to see a memorial for all enslaved Africans who were brought to this country near Penn's Landing. Just don't center on this one so-called place. Is it about money or is it about history? Is it about truth? Is it about principle? We're all going to pass on one of these days, you know. I would like for our legacy to be one of truth, you know, where people of all races and creeds came together to participate. We don't have to make up stories of the Underground Railroad. We don't have to use it or the President House. Just tell the truth.